And league leaders, only Liverpool and Palace are now unbeaten in the first 5 games of this Premier League season. Well, it's the worry for the rest of the Premier League, right? They've won 5 out of 5 without really controlling any of those 5 games for 90 minutes.
No, and like he said, like I mentioned earlier on how great they were in the first half, and excuse me, and you can see it's taking its toll on all the players, managers, players, constantly talking about how many games they're playing, how tiring it is, and we're seeing that in the quality and the calibre of the players. We saw it here today. We're looking at Pep having to play 4-5-1 to try and, try and hold teams off instead of going for teams. Because I think that the players are in a situation where they're playing a lot of football. We're losing a lot of quality. But at the same time, Liverpool, they done it last season as well. People saying, this season, it's an easy start they've had, but they just kept going until no one could catch them up. And I think that they're doing the same thing now. The difference is this season is that they haven't really started playing brilliantly apart from the first half in that game. And when that clicks in, I don't know who's going to stop them.
It's good while you're here to talk about this wonderful striking dilemma that he's going to have and has. He's got Isak in eventually and obviously needs minutes, but Hugo Ekitike has arrived. 3 goals in his first 5 Premier League games and 1 in the Community Shield. And there's been suggestions that perhaps he might not have signed for Liverpool if he knew that definitely Isak was going to go.
For sure, I think he had a choice. If he knew definitely that Isak would be signing for Liverpool, he would never have joined the club. But now he's already here. He's already at Liverpool, doing the job. Now he has to focus on scoring goals. Obviously, we all knew that now there is a lot of games every 3 days, every 4 days, and he will have his chance to play. He's
hit the ground running in front of goal, man.
Which is beautiful. That's what I said. At some point, I can see them, if they don't have a choice, they have to play with 2 strikers. Him and... because he likes to come deep and take the ball and run, and he can control the ball. Technically, he's very good. Same as Isaac. Obviously, if you have to choose one, Isaac would definitely stand in front of him because he got more quality. He knew this league better than Ekitike. But both of them, obviously, it's a good standing for Liverpool. Now they have a choice, having 2 great strikers. They have already won the league last season. They want to win it again without any of them. I think now they knew that having both top strikers in the league, they have even a bigger chance to win it.
They've won the league with Diaz and Nunez in the squad. They've gone. And Isak, the second top scorer in the league, and Ekitike, who's got 3 in his first 5, have come in.
Yeah.
So the reigning champions, arguably on paper, even stronger.
Yeah, with a Florian Wirtz thrown in there for good measure.
Just for 100 mil.
Yeah.
On the bench.
Yeah, look, they look strong. They do look strong. No one getting away from it. And they're doing that thing where they're winning without playing well. And as the boys have touched on here, they are going to start playing well. Arne Slot's proved himself. He's a top manager. Look at the way Liverpool came in he came in last year. A big hole, Jurgen Klopp. How are Liverpool going to carry on? They didn't just carry on, they got better. They got solid. He's well coached, well drilled. He's getting some good time with his players. If he can get them firing, as Wright touched on, and Addy, they're going to be really tough to stop.
How do you see this Isak Ekitike thing developing, medium term here, when they're both fully fit and scoring?
Well, if that's true, that he didn't know that he was definitely going to sign, otherwise he wouldn't have signed, then there's going to be a problem, isn't it? Because, he's playing well. What's going to happen now? Isak's got to play. He's £125 million, whatever it is. So there's going to be some form of problem. He's going to either have to play out on the left or something, and he's doing brilliantly in the middle. That Isak's got to come in and he's got to justify his tag. So we're going to have to see how that one pans out, Steve, simply because if I'm Ekitike, I want to play. I want to play every week.
And he's playing and scoring.
He's playing and scoring. So all of a sudden now, Arne Slot's got a massive problem because he's got a striker who's scoring, but he's got a striker that's got to come in and play because, they bought him for a lot of money. So, hopefully that will kind of derail him a little bit.
They're derailing. Pep's playing 5-4-1.
Exactly.
Pep's playing 5-4-1.
That's what we need.
Arsenal using long throws.
But the thing is that if I'm a striker, Addy, that is already worrying me. Because obviously when Ekitike signed, that it wasn't happening. I know it was still all going on with Isak, but then all of a sudden he's signed. There's no way Ekitike's in his house thinking, this is fine, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
He knows he's got to hit the ground running, he has. But now what's got to happen, Steve, is that Isak has now got to start showing, well, why are we taking him out? Because Liverpool fans are singing his name loudly. So now Isak's the one that's got the problem in coming in, and he's got to try and displace Ekitike, and that's how it should be.
As I'm saying again, if I look at both quality of these players, one can sacrifice to go on the left or one can sacrifice to play behind the other, because at the end of the day, if both are scoring, it will reach a time where you don't have a choice. When the Liverpool team, the whole club click in, you have to play with both of them. If both of them are scoring goals, you don't have a choice. And obviously, I think the manager is doing a quite good job. Since Isaac joined the club, this guy, Ekitike, is still scoring goals, which means the confidence somehow is still there, which means the manager believes in him, trusts him, and talk to him. Because, you know, like if you sign for a club and the manager's not talking to you, you're like, okay, where I am. And obviously they sign a bigger striker than me, which we all know Isaac is better than him. He's bigger, not better, but bigger than him. But now, the way he's playing, you can tell that he's playing without stress, but he has in his mind that Isaac is on the bench. I have to score. So he's scoring, which is very good. But I think at some point, the manager will not have a choice, either play both of them at the same time up front or put one on the side.
Fascinating discussion. Liverpool 5 out of...
Keane Arsenal and Liverpool at the top of the table. Look, there's lots been made about the level of Liverpool's performances so far this season. What have Manchester City got to do if they're going to try and close that gap? What do Arsenal have to do if they're going to try and close that smaller gap to Liverpool, who look, if not perfect, then certainly relentless at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, every game Liverpool play, you always feel like before the game they're going to score 2 goals. You know,
and possibly concede 2 goals.
Yeah, maybe, but you always feel like they're going to score 2 no matter what, and that's just on a normal day. On a better day, they'll score 3 or 4, and that's what's won them the title. Certainly last season. Yeah, it's fair to say they haven't been at the best this season, but huge victory yesterday. But Liverpool yesterday, the first 45 minutes, and at times midweek against Madrid, was pretty good. So you're starting to thinking, OK, they're getting closer to where, you know, they need to be and want to be. I think we've just seen signs in the last couple of games that, yeah, you know, they're on the right way. That's
the key question, isn't it, Roy, in a title-challenging season, is if you're getting the points when you're not playing well, is the not playing well going to continue, or are the performances going to catch up with the results?
I think the performances will certainly improve. They'll obviously drop points at some stage, but we've made a point many times before. It's a great habit winning football matches, especially with the players involved, new players settling in. And when you're winning, when new lads are settling, you kind of just you don't focus on them. Whereas you see United or Man City, when you're not winning football matches, you start focusing on players, trying to settle and go, oh, he's not up to it. So all these lads are under the radar, and they get into the habit of winning football matches. Now, when Liverpool won the league, was it 4 or 5 years ago, the following year, they were awful. They weren't good champions. But the way they've started this season, they look like they are up for it. Obviously, recruitment's been brilliant. The manager comes across very, very well. They're digging deep, and they're a big goal threat. We talked about Arsenal's lack of quality, I suppose, from open play, was when you see Liverpool and the way they're attacking, even on a bad day, you think they're going to score, like Jamie said, 2 or 3 goals, and that's a great sign. Obviously, they'll want to tighten up at the back. You'd always worry about an injury with 1 or 2 of the centre-halves, particularly Van Dijk, but as long as all these players are fit, options off the bench, you've got a manager he looks hungry, he looks focused, he never slips up, he's coming across well, they're digging deep. It'll be very, very difficult to stop Liverpool. And momentum's a huge word in football, and Liverpool have that already at this stage of the season.
So what's the difference between Arteta and Slot that you've seen?
Well, I believe Slot is going out to win football matches and not afraid of giving up chances and losing goals, because he'll probably feel, and again, it still might be nerve-wracking for some of the supporters, going, we want to be tied at the back, but part of football, obviously, in entertainment. When I played for United, we would give up chances and sometimes goals, but we always felt we had 2 or 3 in us. So it's just a different mindset of a manager, different backgrounds, Arteta, whatever it might be, Slot being Dutch, it's a different mindset. Again, I think when you look at Liverpool, they're entertaining to watch. Every game they played so far this year, you think, listen, they might lose this, same in Europe, but they're finding ways to win. And that is a brilliant trait to have.
Jamie said earlier you think it's between Liverpool and Arsenal for the title at this stage. Manchester City will certainly involve themselves in that conversation. Do you think they're strong title challengers?
I think they'll be there or thereabouts. I said when we had a prediction before, I said if Liverpool get Isak, I think that would be the difference. I think Arsenal go out and they get Gyökeres, who's still finding his feet, Eze, who they brought in as well, Zubimendi, all good players. And going back to Arsenal and some of them results where they're getting draws, if you can change them draws into wins, they'll challenge as well. But I just feel sometimes you look at Liverpool now, and Jamie's summed it up perfectly well. You're not playing well, but you're still winning. They've got game changers. Football's not always just about tactics. Sometimes you see the game today, Man City wasn't your usual self, but Liverpool have big players in big moments who can make the difference. And that might be the difference in the end. And when you've got Ekitike and Isak and Gakpo and Salah and Wirtz and Van Dijk and Konate, and then we're not even talking about the fullbacks. Kerkez is still settling in, and Frimpong as well. It was excellent for Leverkusen. But in terms of the quality, individual quality, of the best 11.
So yes or no for City?
Well, I said they will challenge, but I think the difference will be them having an Isak.
Well, they have a Haaland.
But Liverpool have Ekitike. We see today at times when they wanted to change the formation, Man City, Doku was up front. Then they put Savinho up front. That could be the difference.
The other big
that was a problem before the game.
Well, I'm saying,
And like Declan said, he's very much a big moment player. If I'm him, I'm probably very disappointed. You know, obviously Trossard started after doing so well in Champions League, and I thought this was a game for him because of his pace. I was very confused with Trossard's role today because I don't think he couldn't get past anyone with the pace, and in respect of going back the other way, we didn't really get too much off of him, whereas that threat, alongside someone like Eze not starting, where we needed somebody in the 10 area who can get on the ball and make a pass like that, was very confusing for me at home, where, like you were saying, Joe, it was very quiet. We needed to get the crowd going. We need to keep them going, like what Liverpool can do, you know, like what Newcastle can do. And we didn't do that, and I think that kind of handed it over to City. And once they scored the goal, they dropped back, and then it was going to be tough for us. But again, I thought that the substitutes were brilliant. They were fantastic.
Yeah, I'd agree. Wright was screaming for it before the game. He felt frustrated. I thought Kushinov was handling Trossard so well. That was obviously disappointing for Manchester City to lose him. But the double change was a big statement from Mikel Arteta. Maybe that was him admitting that maybe he got it wrong. Maybe he didn't expect City to sit in because they looked so comfortable in the first half. But then that Saka change, that Eze change, the whole dynamic change, the stadium.
Especially at half-time, Joe. You know, when it's at half-time, you always feel like...
Big statement.
Yeah.
It's a big statement, and I'm sure, you know, Ian's obviously a big Arsenal fan. There's some educated people in that stadium, so they're listening, they're knowing what they want, and when they see it, they were ready. The Saka felt right, Eze felt right, and they just looked like they were really going to cause City a difficult afternoon.
I think so.
No problem at all. I've got to get some form of big up as well. I thought he was very dominant in that middle bit, especially when we got a little bit desperate and just getting the ball in there. I thought that he was in the right place all the time, so I thought he played well.
And what he was saying there was they thought they got there, but we haven't seen Manchester City do that an awful lot in the Pep Guardiola.
Those are the things that maybe mistakenly he doesn't say it right. And if Arsenal recognize at the end of the day, he said they were tired at the end. So when you are tired, you lose 1 point, 2 points here, then you end up losing the title. And I think as we all said today, those are the reasons why Arsenal bought Eze to play this kind of game. And obviously, him during the week, I'm pretty sure he has this type of game in his mind. I can't wait to play against Man City Sunday at Emirates. His home. I have to do my magic. Then people will love me. Then you end up being on the bench. It's a pain for him. But he came through, show what he got in his locker. But I think he will be very disappointed not starting the game today. Yeah. Because I think personally, those are the games why the bought Eze to come to Arsenal. Not against Everton, not against Wolverhampton, against Man City, against Liverpool in the Champions League. That's why he cost them a lot of money.
I think the changing at half-time always kind of signifies that maybe that ain't quite right. So you see Saka coming on, obviously, you know, with the hamstring, and Eze coming on. You think to yourself, I'm thinking here, because I was saying, like Joe said, from the start, you want to see that at the start. You want to see the best at the start, because we're talking about how good our bench is. So we don't need to worry about that, especially if we're starting with Eze and, let's say, Martinelli, not even Saka. Even Saka coming on up to go with these two guys would have got the crowd going again. I thought that we really missed the trick in the first half because we needed more creativity and we needed more pace, I think, and we got that in the end. And that's what scored the goals for us, the substitutes with the creativity and the pace.
And on the other bench, Adi, have City got enough depth to freshen things? I know Marmoush is injured at the moment, to freshen things up. We saw Haaland come off on 75 minutes.
Obviously, that's what you're talking about. Time has changed. Obviously, now the routine is not the same anymore. It has been in Arsenal favor. If you look at 4 or 5 years ago, by this time they will bring maybe Kevin De Bruyne in. They will bring Alvarez in. They will bring Mahrez in. And today they have no one on the bench. There are some players that don't even know their name. So that is how you know. But obviously, you can see Arsenal brought Eze, Martinelli, Saka in. Those players make difference. And if you want to win the league, either you like it or not, you can have Messi, Ronaldo. But if you don't have the bench that follows, you can win the league.
Yeah, I'd echo that. I think looking at the bench through the years of City being so dominant as they are, no matter the situation, whether you're looking for a goal, looking to hold out, you know that Pep Guardiola can make 2, 3, 4 strong changes. I think when you're on that pitch in the 60th minute, absolutely shattered, and you're looking at the bench and you're thinking, who's going to come on and help us here? Look at the subs that were made. Haaland came off for a defensive midfielder. Phil Foden came off for a centre-half. I think there's strong messages being sent. It's obvious that they were going to try and hold on to the 1-0 lead.
That's unheard of, unrecognisable for Pep City, isn't it?
It is. And like I say, I don't feel sorry for them, because that's the squad that he's assembled. I think he was still expecting to be a bit more dominant this season, and it's not quite playing out that way.
Interesting. OK, right.